Everybody's talking about AI and filmmaking. AI, it changes everything. It's exhausting, really. It's as someone who is very interested in technology and who uses a lot of technology. I'm a software engineer in my day job. And the idea that AI is going to take over filmmaking is simply ludicrous. It relates to this idea that a script is just a collection of words, that if you put the right words in the right order, that that's when the magic happens. I would like to posit, I believe that AI will never take over filmmaking because AI doesn't understand why film exists. The reason we tape ourselves, the reason that we draw ourselves, the reason that we make representations, that we write things, is to understand the feelings that we as human beings have. We are understanding ourselves. AI can never replace that process of understanding the emotions that you're going through because AI will never have emotions. A script is not just a collection of words. A script is the emotions of the moment, the trying and struggling to understand within yourself what emotions are and why you're feeling them. Let me give you a story. I grew up evangelical. My dad was a evangelical minister of music at a church. And I sang in the choir because, of course, I did. And Sunday morning, it's the format is usually two hymns, a prayer, another hymn, and then the pastor preaches. Um, During the prayer, I'm gonna have my head bowed. Everybody in the congregation has their head bowed. I'm seated here, pastor's here, congregation is facing us, the choir. And I have my head bowed, and something catches my eye over here. And it's the lady in the first row, God bless her. She was not an attractive woman. She was incredibly unfortunate in attractivity. Not only that, but she was poor and her clothes were usually at least 20 years ago purchased. This is not looking down on her in any way. It's just the fact of who she was. And something about her clothing, her zipper got stuck while the pastor's praying. The pastor's visited, and God please bless the dinosaurs and the ducks and the cows and the God please bless the blah 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 and fix world peace. And she's pulling her zipper, trying to get her zipper zipped on a dress that is essentially just a fabric and zipper, and then a hole at the top for her necks and arms. At some point, the zipper stuck, and her titty came out in the middle of church on a Sunday morning, like she was Janet Jackson at the Super Bowl. And um, I'm sitting there in the choir and I see that titty bounce out. And there's a moment where time just stops, where I have to make a decision of what I'm going to do about the fact that there is a titty popping out in the middle of church. Y'all, it was everything I could do not to go, oh my God, a fucking titty just popped out in the middle of church. I cannot undersell how big this titty was because this was a big ass titty. She was a very, very well endowed woman. And when it flopped out, it bounced like there was there was real motion happening up and down. And so I'm looking around to see if anybody else has noticed the titty. And exactly where I'm sitting on the other end of the choir is an older man that I knew tangentially. He was a blue collar construction worker or something like that. I looked at him, he looked at me, and in the emotion of that moment, we both bowed our heads and silently, at the same moment, agreed to never speak of this again. AI will never recreate that experience. AI will never be able to generate the words of that experience. AI, by putting it out there, AI will never understand the humiliation that I felt for her having that titty out there in front of God and everybody. But by writing about it, I can understand it. I can understand what I'm feeling. And I'm understanding it now as I'm explaining it to you. That's the process of film, is understanding what you've experienced and putting that into the video. And AI will never be able to do that because it's just, at the end of the day, it's just generating a series of words that it thinks are the correct words. And there's no spell, there's no series of correct words to match the emotions that I felt in that moment. So yeah, whenever someone says AI is the future of filmmaking, or AI's taking over filmmaking, or it's going to steal my job, think of a titty popping out in church.